This is the Ranchero video. I'm on Mariposa right next to the 15 freeway. You'd have to get off at Oak Hills and then turn left and then head down Mariposa towards 395 or Main Street, Hesperia. And this is the Ranchero intersection where there's proposed freeway off-ramp in the next few years, along with the Ranchero Underpass and all the improvements that are going to be out here. So we're approaching the intersection of Ranchero and Mariposa. This is on the far eastern side. There I am being the good driver and waving the guy forward. And we'll just head east, and I'll head east, and I'll give you my ideas of what's going on here. The first thoughts I had in my mind were, this is really an unremarkable stretch of just desert highway. There's really nothing out here. This is the first big wash that you go down, and then you'll come up the other side where the railroad tracks are. But for the most part, there's very few houses out here on this end of town. Over to your left is one of the newer big house developments that was built. I don't know if they've completed it or not, but it's a sort of a little gated place. We'll approach the railroad tracks coming up that cross Ranchero out here on the far western end of it. There's just some shots of the houses that are out here by the tracks. Cross over it, and just really not much out here at all. Just this is the old part of the road that's been repaired off and on and overlaid, but it's in pretty bad shape for the most part. I'll just try to pan off and to the right and to the left as we're headed eastbound, and show you there's just some few scattered houses, newer ones out here. Oak Hills is to your right, and most of Hesperia is to your left. As we're approaching, we'll go right past the new high school to your left. That's that sign you see on the left there, that big white sign. This is Oak Hills High School being built. There it is right there. Moving down Ranchero, and coming up here to your left is Escondido, and there's a brand new shopping center going in on the corner of Escondido and Ranchero. Now Escondido was paved from the new housing tracks to the north of here all the way through just recently, so a lot of those folks in the newer housing tracks use this to get out of town and come back home without going to Main Street. So there's a brand new shopping center and a gas station going in on Escondido and Ranchero, and this part was just recently paved to go through to the northern new housing tracks. Headed further east, you can see there's really nothing out here. So there's a few houses, newer model homes out here that are pretty well scattered throughout the area. But I keep thinking more and more that this whole Ranchero Underpass and freeway off-ramp is more or less designed to get to the new developments that are coming, Rancho Las Flores and the SunCal development. There's the Oak Hills Nursery, which has been there for a while, and not so much to serve the majority of Hesperia, but more or less access to the developments and the housing tracts that are planned, to give them access where they wouldn't have it any other way besides going down Main. This is a new housing tract to your right, Bella Rosa, I believe, that they widened the road here, but more or unless it's come to a standstill like most of the other developments in the high desert and everywhere else for that matter, because of the housing crisis and the crunch. As you can see, the road is pretty wide here, but it narrows back down into the 2 lanes as you're approaching the stop sign at Maple. Now there's just new houses to your right out here. Get a little close up on the Maple street sign, Maple and Ranchero. And this used to be the city limits right here. And Hesperia was in front of you, and the other part was county behind you. So the city of Hesperia recently repaved this part of Ranchero, and they did a good job. These are newer homes to your left, and off to your right are the older existing half-acre lot homes, and this is sort of a mixed bag out here. The road, pretty nice ride actually. There's some of the newer homes, 5 or 6 years old, and the older ones that were here when I moved out here 20 years ago. There's a new housing track, or a couple new housing tracks to your right, and there's a little strawberry stand, just pick strawberries. And we'll stop to the light. I think this is Cottonwood. I'm not positive though. And as you can see, it just looks like a residential street for the most part. It's 2 lanes, pretty narrow. There are houses up to your right in a housing track. You see one of the famous Hesperia trucks parked off to your right hand side, semis. There's regular houses. It's quite wide here. I don't know, this bike lane going down the middle doesn't really make sense, but you know, who am I to criticize that kind of stuff? Just the houses here, and we're about to cross over the aqueduct. So I did a little bit of cinematography here, and I panned off to my right to show you the aqueduct. So see how this looks. There it is. And here's the shot. Oh yeah, looks good. So crossing over, and this is the old part of Ranchero that needs to be fixed up, but rather unremarkable. Houses off to your right, newer tracks, and older stuff to your left. It's been there existing for a while. There's another one of the semis parked along the road next to a fire hydrant. And you're approaching 7th Street, which is where the underpass is going to be. And off here is a guy on an ATV, no helmet, just violating all kinds of laws. So you're approaching the 7th Street intersection where the Ranchero Underpass is going to be happening in the next few years to get to the other side where I live up on the Mesa. And that's it as far as Ranchero between Mariposa and 7th Street goes. And there's the underpass straight ahead.